people with seizures can smell oranges before they have seizures. No, it's just you have zero control. It's if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And the scary part is when you legitimately just don't know. I have designs that become like 3D prints, almost where you're looking at the Jesus poster in the wall, but it's the carpet, the design where you move and it comes up, and it becomes, it's very disorienting. I shadows, my shadow will move, it will speak.
Is it offensive, or would it be okay if, for the rest of this interview, I refer to those thoughts of paranoia as delusional thoughts?
Yes. Right, and especially right now. I'm like, it's a good day, and I know those thoughts are irresponsible and make no sense. You know, maybe tomorrow I'll be in a, don't question me, bad mood. But today it's like, yeah, it's very difficult to describe. It's because I hear you say that, and my mouth is saying, "Oh yeah, that's fine." I'm back here saying, well, that's just because he doesn't know. He hasn't seen the letters, and he hasn't gone through the phone. He hasn't heard that beeping. He hasn't felt that second ring that jumps on top of the first ring that shouldn't be there when the phone rings. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, okay, it's being polite. We're agreeing to disagree. Then there's audio. Those are fun. I don't know how to describe them. There's two different types. I can have what you would call voices in your head. It's not my voice, but it's not some personality. It's just a different voice, but it's in my head. But then I also have external voices where, well, like I was saying, where my shadow would be talking to me, and I swear I'm hearing it from here. Like, I hear it outside of my head, like you would be talking to me. And it's sometimes it's really, 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 really fast whispering, like a cadence. The voices in the head are usually trying to get you to do something or influence you to do something, and I'm not going to repeat what a lot of those say, because that's just not nice for anybody to hear. You can imagine how exhausting it is to not show that around people all the time. Like, I've been wondering where my Oscar award is, because this is ridiculous. I mean, I've done pretty awesome hiding a lot of this. It gets exhausting putting on a face 24/7. It just nonstop with your family members. Eye contact can be very difficult for me, and it's not because it's antisocial. It's because, to me, bad things can happen if I have eye contact with another human being, and it will sound crazy, but I'm tired of having to look just in between to look normal, and carry on like nothing's the matter when I'm hearing or seeing or experiencing really intense feelings. You have to get help eventually, because you go down the wrong path, in which I have 100% gone down.
Do you think about the future?
I have for a really long time. In fact, the future, I guess it still doesn't really exist, but it's really scary thinking about the future. It's one of the worst things for me to do, because I'm convinced, and all I see is usually just a road of nothing. Nothing. Just every morning, the same sun coming through the same window at the same time to wake you up to the same day of the same pain, of the same extreme boredom, of the same frustrations, and you see where this goes. And so I'm trying really hard not to. I'm trying to find a way to be comfortable with the present, because I'm not. I'm not comfortable with the present. I'm not comfortable with the past. I'm definitely scared to death of the future. Try imagining living in a world where you don't really believe that your thoughts are your own, and understand how stressful that can be at times.
How would you describe PTSD?
Mm, I'm not sure if it's the right word. Debilitating, freezing, um, an overall suffocation. Someone hugging you too hard sometimes, or it's an overwhelming sense of doom. You just know that bad things are going to happen.
Can you tell me about your animals you're holding?
Oh, yes. There's a store here in town that does sensory toys, and I found with me at least, and it's different for everybody, especially if I'm having difficulty in a scenario where I'm beginning, I called it the melting of the minds. I'm a very dramatic person, and that's when things aren't, I can't tell what's going on really, what's real, what's not. A lot of these things can help. As you can see, I've torn away, this used to be a fabric. Now it's just the plastic. I sit there and rub it. But that feeling just helps ground you, and that's what these guys are.
What is borderline personality disorder?
The best way I can describe it is, oh, she sees this, she's gonna hate me.
If who sees it?
My ex-wife. She's the most wonderful human being on the planet. Like, she is. She's fantastic. Always will love her. But that's just it. It's... you put everything into, like, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. For me, it's usually been a romantic relationship. But that person that you're with, they become more important to you than, like, their approval, their happiness, their overall experience in life becomes more important than anything. Anything. Breathing, eating, family, spirituality, everything you love to do, you put it on hold. You know, you tell your friends, I'll be here, then you call them 3 hours late. It's like, hey, yeah, all right, I'm there now, because you, doesn't matter. You will bend the moon, and I know that sounds like, well, that's love. It's not healthy love, especially, all it takes is for them not to say, I love you back, you know? And I was always very verbal. I'm a hopeless romantic. Like, I love candles and baths and dinners, and I write poetry, I frame it. I'm like hopeless romantic. And but sometimes all it takes is them not saying I love you back, and I mean, you're flatline for the rest of the day until you hear it. You're useless. You can't function. And you're worried. It's like, what did I do? I didn't say it back. And I mean, you'll go 24 hours just in your head. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And she hates me. She's leaving me. Okay, well, obviously I'm a piece of crap. And then the second they give you approval again, you're like, all right, life is good. All right, what do I need to do to keep this approval? And that's where a lot of it's like a favorite human being. I think they call it a favorite person. And it's a lot of whiplash, and it's exhausting, and you really hurt other relationships in your life, and you really put a lot of pressure on that other person. I think how much responsibility that puts on you, and even if you don't want it. If I call you, you know that if you don't answer, Daniel's gonna call another 30 times. No, I'm not. I'm not a stalker, but it just puts a lot of pressure on the other person, and they don't deserve it. They didn't do anything to warrant that. It's not their fault.
Even though you're aware of that, right now in the present moment, do you still have problems controlling those impulses?
Yes. Yeah, impulse. When people is like, oh, you know, problems with impulse control, I don't even know what impulse control is. I can honestly say that 90% of the time, I absolutely loathe who I am.
There's a stigma with mental illness, especially psychosis,
Yeah.
that an individual can be dangerous to be around. Is that warranted?
I want to say no, but not for, I know for me, never, like, in any way injured or even thought of injuring or wanted to hurt or even done anything that would be danger to someone else. I haven't, but unfortunately, in reality, some people that can happen, and that's where again you have to be aware of who you are, what you're going through, and what you need to do to get help so that you're not a danger, so that you're not. I know I can be a danger to myself, but I've never had any thoughts like that. If I'm having a really difficult time and I'm experiencing something like that, what honestly happens is I'll just end up somewhere, like for hours. That was when they had me in the hospital. It's because apparently I had driven myself to the hospital. How? I don't remember that. Sometimes I'll drive to College Station and just walk on the bridges. That's very odd sounding, isn't it? Apparently that's part of my dangerous behavior. When I'm nearing the active phase, I will start doing more things that could potentially harm myself.
What can others do to prevent you from engaging in that dangerous behavior?
While sleep has taken grip on the beat.
Health. It's bad for my health. I'm waiting to die, and I'm just. I don't know the word.
Fuck with the green, don't fuck with this heat. I've been searching all night for some pay relief. Nigga, what the fuck you
Yeah, how do I do this map?
That's the shit I don't believe. What you looking for? I'm the one.
Cool, thanks for info. I can't see the surfboards. Aw, damn.
Lust got me stuck, can't move. Too many times I paid the fool. I like the way the light hit my jewels. Smoking unreleased shit and unreleased shit. Might never watch me give the world the blues. Analyze my ways, watch every move. Never blame and tell us just how you do. They never change, shine through and through. What dead of the night? Flaws always make me out.
Sash.
Headache on your own like it's hard work. Bleed against your face, do your blood work. Motherfucker, you all die. Run it to the face, now I'm okay. Think you something special, there's no way. The day you see my face, that's a cold case.